Now at 6, what we know about the collapse of a wind turbine in Barton County, Missouri. Plus, the Carthage Chamber of Commerce hosts a luncheon to recognize women in the workforce. And the Joplin Airport has a brand new bomb sniffer.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A wind turbine has collapsed in Barton County, Missouri. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. Take a look at KOAM's drone video of the scene. This is part of Liberty's North Fork Ridge Wind Farm off Highway 43. Liberty's communications director tells us no one was near the site when the turbine collapsed and no injuries were reported. The company says they've secured the site for safety. Liberty says it's assessing the situation and will provide additional details as they become available. The company adds the safety of the public and its employees are its top priority. Joplin police have released the identity of the pedestrian killed in a hit-and-run crash this week and an image of what the vehicle might look like. The victim of Monday's crash has been identified as 55-year-old Eva Havelock of Joplin. Now police are releasing an image of a vehicle that might resemble the one in the crash. They think it was a dark-colored 2002 to 2005 Ford Explorer SUV. Investigators say it would have sustained damage to the front grille and would be missing a headlight assembly unless it's already repaired. Police say Havelock was on foot when the vehicle struck her around 6 p.m. Monday near West 7th and Gray Avenue. She died of her injuries yesterday. Anyone with information about that crash should contact the Joplin Police Department. Now let's check in with meteorologist Tiffany Savona.
Good evening, Dow, and things are quiet all across the 4-state area. We're going to switch over quickly to our downtown Joplin camera there where the sun has set. No snow in sight. That's all thanks to the warmer weather we saw today. And when I say warmer, we're talking about temperatures well above the freezing mark. We topped out in the upper 40s and lower 50s just a few hours ago, and we're still seeing some 50s on the map. We're at 50 in Anderson and Grove. We're at 50 or 46 rather in Miami, 42 in Pittsburgh, 45 in Joplin, and 42 degrees in Chanute. Our winds are out of the southwest. They're starting to come down, and that'll be the trend as we head into tonight. So if you're headed out and about this evening, maybe going out to dinner, temperatures will be dropping through the 40s and will end up in the upper 30s by 9 and 10 o'clock with those winds gradually diminishing overnight. A wind chill watch has been issued for our Kansas counties. Wouldn't be surprised if this gets extended and expanded as we head into the next couple of days. We'll talk about when wind chills could be well below zero coming up in a couple of minutes. Back to you.
See you soon, Tiffany. The Carthage Chamber of Commerce has started a series of women empowerment luncheons focusing on women in the workforce. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
We can succeed when we work together.
The Carthage Chamber of Commerce first of its kind Women's Empowerment is a new monthly series of lunches leading up to the Women's in Business Conference in May.
Empower them, to lift them up, to hear other stories, and to be able to take all of these things that we learned today and carry them back home into our work so we can be better leaders, not only in our community, but in our workforce as well.
Chelsea Bodie is the first speaker to be invited to share her experience being a CEO working in tech and climbing the ranks.
I hope it inspires. I don't really have anything except my story, so my plan is to kind of tell my journey and reflect on some of the things and lessons and challenges that I've had over the years.
Women from across the 4 states listened to Bodie, who emphasized the power of not fitting the mold.
One of the slides talks about some of the things that they taught in the economics classroom back in the 1950s. So I'm very grateful. It's kind of a funny slide. I'm very grateful that I'm not a woman of the 1950s because I don't fit that mold at all.
This is not just a Carthage event. This is open to our whole region. This event was created, it's for women and by women.
Reporting in Carthage, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The Chamber will announce the next luncheon speaker and topic later this week. The Joplin Regional Airport has welcomed the newest member of its law enforcement team. KOAM's Anthony Saviello shows us what the bark is all about.
Meet Bubba, the four-legged furball who is on the case. The suitcase, that is.
Bubba's an English golden retriever. He came to us from the Timber Creek Kennels in Wentworth, Missouri, and he's a year and a half old. So we've been training with him for about 8 months now, and working with him here at the airport for about 2 months.
The arrival of Bubba is something airport manager Bart Starkey says not only helps airport patrons, but all residents in the area.
Still here to try to provide the best security we can for our passengers and for the other people on the other tenants on the airfield. We're also available to provide that service to the area with our bomb dog. We can go to any other facilities that may have a bomb threat and provide that explosive detection service.
Even though he's on the job, just like any other dog, Bubba has to have fun.
That's our goal, but he's a character.
Bubba isn't all play and no work. To see this dog in action can make even the most worried feel at ease.
If we don't ever find an explosive, that would be good. I think just him being here and being visible, searching for explosives, and people know they probably won't bring an explosive here and send it to another airport, or not bring an explosive to an airport at all.
Though the hope is he will never have to use his skills, it doesn't take a sniffer to see this dog is the bomb. Reporting in Joplin, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
You'll be glad to hear Officer Williams tells us Bubba gets to be a regular dog off duty. Bubba interacts with people and other dogs at home and also eats plenty of treats, they say. Good for him. Beautiful dog. Later in sports, Frontenac and Pittsburgh renew a wrestling rivalry today. John's going to have details of the crosstown throwdown in just a few minutes. First, some drivers in Kansas bear the brunt of a winter storm while stranded in their cars. This week, the four-state area got its first real taste of winter for 2024. In Kansas in particular, some people got a bit more than just a taste. Reporter Jocelyn Schifferdecker has a winter's tale that turned into the story of survival.
After 13 hours of being trapped, a worker is posting this video on Facebook to celebrate being free at last. Dozens of Cargill factory workers were stranded both inside and outside the factory as Monday's blizzard made it difficult to see, leaving no other option than to wait it out.
We were going to leave, but we got stuck one more time. And we were there from maybe like 5, maybe 6 p.m.
until 8 a.m. the next morning. Alexis Ortiz and his co-workers slept in their car during freezing temperatures while other workers took their chances inside the factory.
A lot of people, they were laying down, and they had cardboards, they had their own coats used as blankets.
People doing whatever they could to stay warm. Here's one worker covering himself with a piece of cardboard. It was a terrifying night for many, and while out in the blistering cold, Ortiz felt little hope.
And it was just something terrible, and honest to God, I didn't think I'd make it home.
As soon as his siblings woke up the next morning and realized he never came home, they ran out the door, packing food and water to bring to the dozens of other stranded motorists throughout the city. Snow threatened to keep them away, but they were determined.
I told my wife, you know what, I'm gonna walk and meet them halfway. And it was probably like a 3-mile walk.
But after trudging and driving through literal snow, the family was finally reunited.
Just a big sigh of relief.
Tiffany's forecast is next.
Meteorologist. Good evening, I'm meteorologist Tiffany Savona. A much different day today compared to yesterday. Notice the snow has melted. We saw plenty of sunshine out there across the four-state area, and temperatures were on the warm side, much warmer than average for this time of year. Look at the numbers. It's 6:14 in the evening, and we're still in the 40s and 50s out there. It's 50 in Anderson, 50 degrees in Grove, 48 in Neosho, 45 in Joplin, 42 in Pittsburgh, and 42 degrees in Chanute. The sky has been clear all day. The winds have been a bit breezy, but notice these wind speeds now starting to drop below 15 miles per hour, and this trend will continue tonight. So it's not going to be nearly as breezy as it has been. We do have a few clouds rolling in from the north and west, but they'll be out of here pretty quickly. We're looking at a mainly clear sky tonight. All will be quiet before our next storm system moves in, and this is going to be our next weather maker, currently bringing rain and snow to the Pacific Northwest. This is going to be a very dynamic storm system. The energy for it will drop well to the south and then move across the Four Corners and then into the southern plains, and this is going to spark off severe weather to our south and to our south and east as we head into tomorrow and Friday. So here's what to expect. Quiet tonight, temperatures dropping through the 40s into the 30s, and then by tomorrow afternoon, I should say, the clouds will be increasing. So we'll start off with the sunshine, increasing clouds, not as much sun as today, unfortunately, but it should be a little bit warmer with highs in the low to middle 50s. This is all ahead of our next strong cold front. And then as we get into tomorrow night, scattered showers, even a few thunderstorms will be possible. The thunderstorm threat is going to be much higher to our south, but we can't rule out some thunderstorms rolling across the four-state area. Here we are at midnight and then into early Friday morning. Friday morning, as you're waking up, there's going to be a wide variety of temperatures on the map. Out ahead of the front, we have 40s and even 50s. Behind the front, temperatures crash into the 20s and 30s. So it just depends on where you are, what temperature you're going to be waking up to. Everyone will start to see temperatures drop into the 20s throughout the day on Friday as scattered light snow showers continues, and then we'll end up in the teens by Friday evening, but it'll feel even colder when you factor in the wind. Now, we could see some minor snow accumulations. Anywhere between 1 to 2 inches will be possible area-wide. I think the better chances for some areas getting close to 2 will be for our easternmost communities. The bigger story will be the temperature and the wind. So we'll get our first Arctic blast as we head into Friday and Saturday. Look at the air temperature. Early in the morning on Friday, it'll be in the 30s, and then temperatures crash. We'll end up in the 20s, but look at the pink area. Those are your wind chills during the morning and afternoon hours will likely be in the single digits, and then we'll get another reinforcing shot of cold Arctic air Sunday into Monday. That'll be the coldest period we've seen so far this season. Possible alert days Friday because of the snow and the wind. Possible alert days Sunday and Monday because of the cold and the wind. And we could see that wind chill watch expanded into the rest of the area. We'll continue to keep you posted. But after we get through the early part of next week, the weather pattern quiets down. It stays on the chilly side, but not nearly as cold as what we're expecting as we head into the weekend. Back to you.
Tiffany, thanks. We have a big update on a developing news story. We told you earlier in this newscast that police had released an image of what they believe to be a vehicle similar to the one involved in a hit-and-run fatality Monday in Joplin. Well, we've now received word that they've been following up on a lead, and they believe they have found that vehicle in Duquesne, Missouri. They also contacted the owner of that vehicle. They believe that person, a man, was the driver in that fatal hit and run on Monday. That person is under arrest. Of course, we are still following this developing story, and we'll have much more for you tonight at 9 and 10. Still ahead tonight, Pittsburgh High School swimmers signs to compete at the collegiate level, and the 4th annual Crosstown Throwdown between Pittsburgh and Frontenac Wrestling takes place this afternoon. John Dales has those stories and a lot more. It's up next in sports.
There are several rivalries you might already know about in the 4 states: Pitt State and Missouri Southern, Webb City and Carl Junction, Parsons and Labette County. Today, another one gets renewed: the Crosstown Throwdown between Frontenac and Pittsburgh Wrestling. Pittsburgh entire student body in attendance for the Crosstown Throwdown. Frontenac comes to town. Wrestling at 106 pounds, Pittsburgh's Evan Antoni wins by fall against Frontenac's Mark Stroud. He's fired up. Next up at 113 pounds is Chris Pickle for Frontenac. He gets a win by fall over Muntazir Manzer. Now at 144 pounds, good battle between Tyler Bailey and Ethan Jones. Bailey wins by fall for Pittsburgh. Then one of the most impressive sights from today. At 157 pounds, Wyatt Frazier hurts his arm early, gets it checked by the trainers and recovers to win by fall over Ashton Bowder of Pittsburgh. Close battle all the way throughout the afternoon. The Raiders and Purple Dragons tie, but because of an unsportsmanlike call against Frontenac, Pittsburgh boys win the 2024 Crosstown Throwdown 34-33.
And it was awesome. We got the win, keeping the trophy at home against a tough Frontenac team, so really proud of my guys. Man, the atmosphere was great, man. It's really excited me. We wanted to host the Assembly Duel for a while. This is our first time doing it, so couldn't have went better.
Very busy day at PHS as the Crosstown Throwdown happening. Elsewhere in the building, a Purple Dragon senior signs her college commitment letter. Ava Steyer of Pittsburgh High School signs her national letter of intent to join the women's swimming team at University of St. Mary in Leavenworth, Kansas. Now Steyer spent her entire high school swimming career at Fort Scott because there are no other swimming teams in Southeast Kansas. She says she's hopeful that going to this program can help her compete at the NAIA National Championships.
The coach is very great there. He is so great, and he's a very good coach. I've seen him make a lot of progress in all of his swimmers, so I'm looking forward to going there and making sure I can improve myself, not only like as a student, but also a swimmer on campus. And my goal, one of my big ones, is to go to the national championships and the NAIA National Championships.
In the NFL, more firings taking place in the last day for head coaches and coordinators. Bit of a shocker out of Nashville. Titans head coach Mike Vrabel is fired after 6 seasons and 3 playoff appearances. Each of the last 2 years, though, his team has finished under 500. According to Adam Schefter, Vrabel is a, quote, tier 1 candidate for other NFL head coaching jobs. Meanwhile, in Chicago, the Bears fire their offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy. But again, according to Schefter, head coach Matt Eberflus will return next season. He's led the Bears for 2 years. Last season, they went 3-14. This year, 7-10. They have 2 top 10 picks in this year's NFL draft. Back to the Crosstown Throwdown, though, with my first experience of that rivalry of wrestling in the 4 states. Tell you what, physical sport, and I love the atmosphere with the entire school in attendance.
There are a lot of fans wrestling around here for
Definitely.
sure, and they love to see them on TV.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We're going to have the latest on the Pittsburgh School District search for a new superintendent. Plus, a Pittsburgh man makes a surprisingly close-to-home discovery while shopping in France. Those stories, a lot more tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Now here's Tiffany.
Big changes in the weather department. Tomorrow will be dry, warm 54, but that will not last. Showers and storms will be possible Thursday night. That changes over to snow by Friday morning. Temperatures crash. We have a possible alert day Friday for the snow and the wind, and then the bitter cold arrives this weekend into early next week. It's time to get prepared, guys. Back to you.
Tiffany, thanks. Final sports note.
Some surprising news out of college football. Nick Saban, 6-time national champion head coach. According to ESPN, he will be retiring.
Big name in college sports. We'll be seeing you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.